What's up, wrestling fans? The Bat Fry, Kenny Fry here. On this episode of the Atomic Drop podcast, myself and Adam the Answer Glenn will be talking WWE's latest premium live event, The Bash in Berlin. And we'll be talking that and our thoughts on each match and what could be coming next for some of those competitors. And whatever else comes on the board. And whoever else jumps on, we'll see what happens here, all right? We'll return in about 42 seconds. It's fight night! What's up, wrestling fans? Of course, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry here, and my boy, Adam, the Answer Glenn. What's up, Adam? How you doing on this fine Sunday night?
I'm doing good, Ken. How are you doing tonight? It's a
Oh,
wrestling.
I'm doing just fine. It's a little bit moist here in Schuylkill County. I think it's a little bit moist, humid. I didn't think it was gonna be this humid today, but right now I'm sweating my balls off. How about you?
Hey, I'm feeling warm, but I'm skinny, so
Yeah, you're skinny. I'm a little bit chunky. Yes, I get
yeah,
it.
you
I've been
sweat
losing
more.
weight, Adam. I've been working on it. All right? I'm trying to become less of a fat ass. I'm down
Yeah.
almost 70 pounds now, so I'm working on it, buddy.
So you're not gonna be the fast at work anymore.
Pretty soon I will not be the fat ass at work anymore. As soon as I see Sean, he will be the main fat ass.
Yeah, we gotta make sure you're not he is the main fat ass, but we gotta make it official. What you being a fat ass?
We will make it official as soon as he returns to work. With that being said, we got Linda Duarte checking in. What's up, Linda? She says, hello, boys. Hello, Linda. Thanks for checking out the show. Thank you for commenting. And you know what, Adam? Why mess around, right? Why mess around talking about fat ass and stuff like that? Let's kick the show off and start talking WWE's latest premium live event, The Bash in Berlin. Sprechen Sie Berlin. So what do you think of the premium live event overall? Overall grade, the premium live event before we start hitting all these matches up. What was your overall thought on this pay-per-view or premium live event, wherever you want to call it?
Maybe A minus, because I thought it was that first a few matches were, were slow. Like you could tell who was gonna win. But then, when they got to the main matches, that's where it really picked up, and that's where it gets CA. But the minus is where it started off slow, and not the matches that I liked, not any really good matches.
Yeah, and you know what? You're not. I kind of agree with you. There's no like uh like I don't want to say secret. You know who's gonna win, right?
Yeah,
Like it's kind of like you know who's gonna win. So you hope for great matches. They were great matches. They all were great matches, but like there was no shock to it. There's you expect these guys to win just because it's not one of your major pay-per-views or premium live events that you're really not sure, may the title change hands. I think what they really need to start doing is throw some curveballs. Like we did have one title change hands. We'll talk about that in a minute. But besides that, and even that wasn't too much of a surprise. I mean, I was a little bit surprised, but I think on one of these smaller premium live events that aren't the big four, I think we should see a major title change hands just to kind of change it up a little bit, to kind of leave a little bit of, like a wonder in there, get people to draw more people in to say, hey, you don't know what's going to happen here. This could happen, and stuff like this. But overall, a lot of great matches. I thought they were good. It advanced storylines, or maybe in some cases ended storylines. I don't know. We'll have to wait to see what comes up on Raw tomorrow night, and go from there. So we got a couple more comments before we start this first match off. We got Rob Hefner checking in, the mayor of Las Vegas, Rob Hefner. He says,
what's up,
"Hello,
Rob?
fellows." Rob, thanks for checking out the show. Thank you for commenting. And our boy Paul Spencer saying, "Hello, gentlemen. What's up, Paul? Thank you for checking the show out. Thank you for commenting." Wow, that. All right. So first match of the night was your Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens undisputed championship match. The heavyweight championship match, undisputed heavyweight championship match. Again, good match. This, kind of came all about, kind of weird. Kevin Owens didn't want to fight Cody Rhodes because of, the rumor of a knee injury at a house show. And Cody Rhodes said, no, he's good to go. And, KO was like, I only want to fight you at your best. I don't want to beat a lame Cody Rhodes. But, Cody said, I'm good to go, bring it. And here we were, Adam. We were in Berlin, Germany, and we had ourselves a KO versus Cody Rhodes match. And Cody Rhodes comes out victorious after really a really good match. Back and forth, a lot of great moves. I mean, Kevin Owens is awesome. Kevin Owens is awesome for a bigger fella, for quote unquote a fat ass. The dude can move. He can wrestle. He does some just amazing things in that ring. And the one thing that kind of stuck out to me, which is going to stick out to a lot of fans of wrestling, is KO's inability to take advantage of a limp Cody Rhodes. And that was the turning point in the match there. He could have attacked Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was going for, I don't know if it was like a springboard backflip or whatever up the top rope. He gets to the top rope. He comes up lame, grabs his knee, gets down there. And, KO thought about it. He was going to come in with the shoulder to the knee, do some dastardly things to Cody Rhodes' leg. But he didn't do it. He didn't take advantage of it. He held up. And then again, out on the ring apron, he was going to power bomb Cody Rhodes, either on the edge of the ring apron, which is what it looked like it was going to be. That they say that the hardest part of the ring is the edge of the ring apron, and so he was going to power bomb him on the edge of that, and he did not. He held up for whatever reason. It had nothing to do with his leg, but I don't get the thinking from KO there. The knee part, all right, whatever. Trying to be gentlemanly about it, I guess. But the power bomb on the ring, the edge of the ring, that's fair game, man. That's fair game, and it came back to cost him. In hindsight, Cody Rhodes ends up getting the win in the long run, and they raise each other's hands. And I don't like this version of Kevin Owens. I like Kevin Owens as being a fan favorite. I have no problem with that. He's fun. He's good on the mic and such. But I don't like the Kevin Owens that's not willing to do anything and everything to win a match. I want to see that KO and still be a fan favorite. I don't think the fans would have turned on KO if he would have went out there and attacked the leg of Cody Rhodes. So what are your thoughts on that, Adam, Glenn? And your thought on the match and your thought on Kevin Owens not doing what it takes to be the world champion?
This is the KO's getting soft in his old age, because the real KO is out there beating the crap out of Cody Rhodes. He's come up limping. He's attacking that leg. He's power bombing him on the ring, getting the fans to hate him. But I didn't like it, but I didn't expect KO to win. But this isn't the real KO, but I guess they're friends. He wants to actually have a friend.
Yeah. It's and I agree with you. I don't know if it's old age or what it is, but still, if you want to be champion, if you want to be, crowned undisputed heavyweight champion of the WWE, you got to be willing and able to do whatever it takes to obtain that gold and then keep it around your waist. And KO, he was not willing to do everything to obtain it. And if he wasn't doing that, then he wasn't going to do everything and anything to keep it either. So it's a bummer, because it's been a long. They kept alluding to it during the broadcast that it's been a while since he won a singles title, and you kind of forget how long it's been. It's a very, would they say 7 years? I think that might have been. It's been a while.
Maybe
been a hot minute.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but this was the real KO. The real KO attacks.
Yeah, I agree.
Title.
Maybe he's trying. Yeah, maybe he's trying to be a role model for his son or something. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you what. My kid would be eating much better if I was the champion of the WWE instead of the guy that didn't attack Cody Rhodes' leg, the American Nightmare. Raider Paul checking in, saying Raiders. That's it, sir. Yes, sir. Soon. And also salute to you, Raider Paul. I appreciate it. Minshew Mania. Hopefully we get some Minshew Mania, and he'll be Minshewing out, to kind of bounce off Hulkamania here in a whole wrestling theme. I'm pulling for Minshew and pulling for the Raiders, 100%. We got the Silver and Black Layer podcast tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. So be sure to check that out and throw your comments out there. But overall, good match. It was a good way to start the show. Do you think the championship was a good way to start the show? The undisputed championship between Cody and KO. Do you think? Well, and we seem to be coming to this every pay-per-view now, every premium live event with WWE, where they seem to start off the show with a championship match, and we always bring it up. Do you think that's a good way to start the show? And I always say yes. I never see a problem with it as long as you have multiple championship matches and your main event is for some sort of title or for some sort of something. Like there's some sort of stipulation or reason to have a main event. And so if that's a fact, then another title match to start the show, I think is a great way to start the show off. What were your thoughts on that?
It's a good match to start, like, get it out of the way type of match.
Yeah.
Like not too good like a match like that you want to miss, but it's a good way to start off the show.
Yeah.
You miss it, no big deal. But it's a good way to start off the show.
And like you said, it's no big deal if you miss that match. I mean, it was a very good match, but KO's not winning that match. All right. Like the only thing that you could be looking for is, does the bloodline get involved? Does Cody Rhodes get hurt? Does something happen like that? And we've seen him, come up limp with the knee and stuff like that. I don't know if they're going to continue with that storyline with the knee, if that's going to eventually lead to him losing this title or having to relinquish it. Again, I don't think it's a real injury. I think this is a work. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll see what they talk about on Raw, how they bring it, or I guess that would be SmackDown. So we'll have to wait for SmackDown on Friday night to see how they work that into an angle. Raider Paul says, "Have faith, brother." I absolutely, every year before week 1, I have faith. I absolutely do. And he also does the old Eagles better beat the Cowgirls. So you have that there, Adam Glenn. Go Eagles, right? EAGLES.
Eagles for life.
I'm sure our boy Paul Spencer and Cowboy Dave are not thrilled about that, but
no, not Cowboys fans.
And Kurt McCurt checking in. You can check Kurt out and Larry on their new show on Tuesday nights. What the heck? What the hell is it called again? I forget. God damn it. Part-time marks. There it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kurt. That's my bad here. I suddenly I had it there and I lost it. The part-time marks. That's Kurt and Larry. Check them out. I don't think they'll be on Tuesday. I might be again next Tuesday until we get things figured out here. But that's my bad. I'm sorry about that, Kurt. They'll be talking.
Check it out. It's a good show.
They'll be talking. They'll be getting more in depth than what we do. Like they'll be talking some NXT and stuff like that as well. But yeah, I watch their show and it's like they're a lot. They're pretty good. They're into it. They're very in depth and no messing around and they know what they're talking about. A lot of times here I'm throwing a lot of nonsense out there, worrying about Bianca Belair's hair and stuff. And these guys are straight to it, straightforward, and checking out all the different angles that a match can be worked and whatnot. So yeah, that is the part-time marks. And again, that was my bad. I knew it was Marks something. I'm like, what the hell is it? Marks.
Yeah, it is a good show. They go in more depth than us because I think the one guy actually was a wrestler.
Yes, Larry was an indie wrestler in our group chat. He throws a lot of his. He threw a bunch of his matches up. I was checking them out. Some good stuff. I seen some stuff with him on a ladder. He had it posted on there the other day. That was pretty cool. I'll tell you what, man. I don't know, Adam. I don't know. Do you have the balls, the cojones, to get up on a ladder and jump off the top of a ladder onto somebody laying on a table? Do you have the balls to do that?
Not for $1 million.
$1 million, not for $1 million. I'd do it for $1 million, Adam.
Maybe, but I don't know how people do that. People do it, but I don't know how to do it for $1 million. I'm actually questioning myself there.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Whenever I climb a ladder here at home, a 6-foot ladder, and I get to that rung, before the top of the ladder, my knees are already shaking. These guys are climbing to the top where it says specifically on the ladder, do not climb to the top of the ladder. That is not a step. and they get up there and they jump off of it. That's insane. Then the guys, like in a ladder match, the even bigger ladders, the Money in the Bank match and stuff. I'd be crapping bricks. That's no joke right there. All right.
That's why I call wrestling like it's a man's soap opera.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not fake. It's a man's soap opera.
Absolutely.
Look what these wrestlers do, jumping off ladders.
Yeah,
it's a man's soap opera to me.
And speaking of wrestling and ladders, we got a friend hopping in here.
Guys,
what's going up,
on?
Larry? How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, guys? What's going on? Sorry I'm late.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. Yeah, you're watching NXT, right? What NXT? What's the name of this? Their pay-per-view. What was it?
Yeah. We got No Mercy on right now. We're going right into the main event as we speak.
Oh, who's the main event?
Ethan Page and what do we have here? We had Ethan Page. Oh yeah, and we had Joe Hendry and Trick Williams is the special ref.
I'll tell you, I can't get enough of that Joe Hendry theme song. I
don't know what it is. I'm loving everything about him right now. I think he's going to be good for business.
Absolutely. If they market him right, which they seem to be on a roll with putting people out there. I think they'll do just fine with Joe Hendry. I think Joe Hendry will be doing just fine as well with WWE or NXT or whatever this takes him. So I don't know what's his situation with TNA yet. Is he still a part of TNA or is this like
yeah, he's definitely still part of TNA. So, they got this deal going right now. So, they're bringing a lot of wrestlers in. They're showcasing a lot of their better talent. And I think they might start putting some of these championships on these people coming over, just because, they're getting a buzz. Yeah. So maybe they'll see what they can do over here and then maybe they'll fully sign them. So they all got like split contracts right now.
Did you think you would ever see the day where you'd see something like this happen, especially with WWE?
I think, I think with Triple H, I fully trusted Triple H. I think he knew where the business was going. So I think he knew you had to start to evolve and you had to start doing other things, especially with the other company. They're bringing in talent from Japan and picking up guys off the street left and right. So, I mean, yeah, you have to evolve. And there's a lot of good talent in TNA. So it's starting to shine out.
Well, I like you said it right on the nose there with Triple H. If it's Vince McMahon, this would not happen. I have no doubt in my mind that he would never ever align himself with another, unless he bought them out.
Cody might not even be champion right now if Vince was still
running things. I would agree with that.
So that's kind of where we're at with that one right now.
So, yeah, but I think it's great that they have some sort of agreement or deal with TNA. It's interesting. It's different, and like you said, bringing other wrestlers that you may not have heard of. Especially I'm just a WWE guy. I don't watch any other wrestlers. I just don't. I don't have the time. They just need more time in a day. 3-hour Monday Night Raw just kills me every week. Trying to watch that, through bits and pieces throughout the week, and then the 2-hour SmackDown on a Friday night. It's I'm usually doing something. It's like I kind of hurry up and get that in at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday.
I was kind of stuck in just watching WWE a lot, but then my partner Curtis, he's consistently watching everything, so he kind of roped me into AEW a little bit, but I think I watch it more or less to pinpoint where they could be better.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, he kind of wrote me in with the TNA, and then they started bringing in talent that I'm like, all right, I'm interested. So that's where I'm at with. I think TNA can. I think there's a lot of special talent they're hidden jewels down there.
Yeah.
So once they get the right exposure, they could be all over the place. Because some of these people, they're getting the pop that they expect them to get. The first, Jordan Grace came out at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I loved it.
And the crowd took to it right away. So, they didn't shy away from it. Certain things they try to shy away from right away, but they instantly took it right in. And, they're where they're at with Joe Hendry right now. Hopefully in the next couple minutes, maybe he takes the championship.
Wouldn't that be something? That'd be amazing.
It'd be a good time to do it. I think they have another big show coming up here soon. It could. There's a lot they could do with this guy, man. He got microphone skills. He's got a decent look. The turnaround he just did, that's phenomenal. There's nothing about him that I can pinpoint right now that I don't like.
Yeah. Well, with the whole Jordan Grace thing, I remember when she first showed up at Royal Rumble. When she first walked out, I had no idea. 'Cause, again, just WWE. That's it.
Mm.
And then when she came out, I remember, I think she walked down with the title. I can't remember for sure.
Yeah.
But they explained,
Mm.
they did a great job explaining who she was as she was walking to the ring. Like you got to be shitting me. I can't believe that we're actually seeing this. And I thought it was awesome. And she did a great job. And she's been
Oh
on
yeah,
the NXT a couple
she
times
carried
since then.
herself well for the first time being. It's different being out in front of that type of crowd. I'm sure your first time, it's still different. You've done a
Yeah,
lot of crowds, but going out in front of a Royal Rumble crowd, that's a big night. So, and I think she did very well carrying herself that night. And
oh,
Joe,
absolutely.
he's been doing the same thing. I mean, this move with Ethan Page coming over from AEW, he was like a gem, just stuck in the fold over there.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of them that just get stuck in the fold. So if you can get out of there and showcase that you have just a little bit more, I think they're willing to take you on right now.
that's all good stuff. We got Eileen checking in saying, "What's up?" Hey, Eileen. Thanks for checking out the show. We got Kurt McGirt, our boy Kurt from
Kurt,
Part-Time Mark, says so much potential on TNA, and he's also saying that Joe, your partner, there it is. He's saying Joe Hendry's white hot. Give him the belt.
yes,
There we
give
go.
him the belt now.
So
Give it to him now, right as the tie-up happens. Just give him the belt. I'm here for it.
just stop and just hand it to him. There it is.
So what did I miss on the show so far?
So we one match. That's it. That's all we talked about so far. We were into one match, and we just ended it. So what were your thoughts on Cody and Kevin Owens? Your thoughts on that match?
Oh my goodness, where do I start? Well, I guess let's just start with that crowd.
Oh man, how awesome was that crowd?
The crowd. I dig a little deeper sometimes. So yeah, let's start with that crowd. They really appreciate wrestling in those other countries, and I get it. They don't get it all the time, but they make sure that you're gonna come back here again. You know what I mean? Like, we want this 2 times a year. So let's start with the crowd. I'm always a huge fan of a championship match. If you can send out a championship match first, and the 2 quality of wrestlers that you got, I would say that they didn't even go. I think they could even did more. And I'm gonna say it was probably a 5-star match. Even with Samantha Irvin, just the ring announcing, she gave me chills. I was like, wow, I feel like I'm in the ring right now. Because I guess some of you guys know I did do some of the wrestling. So just the feel that Samantha gave it, and then it was just a good back and forth match, back and forth. And it'd have been kind of good to see maybe Cody turn a little heelish, but we were just waiting for Kevin to do something. I I thought it was flat out. I thought it was going to be hard to follow. I definitely thought it was going to be a hard to follow. I thought it was a 5-star match right from the grip, and I think we knew Cody was definitely going to win. I think we're starting to maybe see signs of something going on with Owens, but we don't know yet. We know he's always a better heel than he is a face.
Yes.
So I don't know where we're going with it, but yeah, first match, 5 stars. Good match, good call. Perfect place on the show.
Yeah, and that's what Adam and I we agree with the same, pretty much sentiment there with the starting off the championship match. And like I said, as long as you have something where you have something at the main event that can, top your first match, that's a championship match. Whether it's another championship match or some sort of stipulation match or a special match at the end, I have no problem with you starting off with a championship match. It's a great way to start a show off to get the crowd hot, and I thought it was great. It's a great match. And were you surprised that Kevin Owens didn't go for the knee of Cody Rhodes there when Cody came up lane?
There was a couple signs, but I just don't think they want to give that away just yet if they're going to do that.
Yeah.
But you did see that look in his eye, like he's going to attack it, and then he kind of fell into he made the Kevin Owens mistake. That's kind of his character too all the time. That he beats himself most of the time if he takes a loss, and that's kind of where they went with it. He kind of took the mistake. So yeah, I was a little shocked he didn't attack it, because I got hyped when he went to get ready for the power bomb on the outside. I'm like, here we go, and then he teased it, and then he kind of went away from it. I'm like, okay, I get it, because if he does hit that power bomb, it's pretty much over for Cody. So it made a lot of sense the route they went. Absolutely phenomenal match.
Eileen said, I kind of thought we would have some Solo Sikoa interference. And she also says she was kind of disappointed that the next storyline for Cody is Solo. I
Yeah,
don't know if that's, are they going to continue with the whole bloodline and Cody thing? I guess they are, because Cody is the champion. So I guess you can't really go away from that, because Solo says he's going to bring the title back through the bloodline to the family.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna have to disagree with Eileen this time. Right? Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Solo run right now. Mainly because he switched just like this. He went from a character who didn't talk whatsoever to, like, they forgot he could talk because he used to talk in NXT. That's what people kind of forget too. So you kind of forgot it, but he just instantly stepped into that role. And I mean, he stepped into, because we knew where it was going, because I mean they've been building this for 2 years. They called him the tribal chief what, a year or two ago.
yeah,
So we was building to this, and I really, he's probably up there if I had to like say who's could be the wrestler of the year right now, just because of how he turned that character around and how he's leading that core. I'm a big fan of what they did with Solo. I can't shy away from where they're doing. I think all the bloodline stuff is good. And even with, I didn't even expect them to take Paul Heyman away from Solo so soon. And Paul Heyman's, I mean, he's a big, big piece to any puzzle that you're putting together.
yes.
So to pull him away and Solo still be able to carry this and lead this, I just have to disagree a little bit. I'm a big fan of the Solo situation right now, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
And that's one thing that I disagree, that I agree with you with, but Dave always disagrees with, is I think Solo's doing a great job. They gave him more personality. Like his personality before as the enforcer was just kind of standing there, his arms crossed and kind of like, mean mug it all the time. Now you give him the mic, you give him more personality. You see that the dude can talk. And, for those that don't watch the NXT, you really had no idea that he could talk, because he didn't do a whole lot of it, or if any of it, when he was the enforcer. And now you give him the mic, and he's talking. He's doing a great job at talking, and like you said, leading the group of guys that's with him. And without Paul Heyman, you only had Paul Heyman for a little bit, and when Paul Heyman was there, it was basically pleading and begging Solo to change his ways, and Solo kind of going back and forth with him. So I've loved everything that Solo has done so far, and the new bloodline. And again, if Cowboy Dave were here, he'd be trying to shut this down. You try to shut the show down.
I can't let this one. I like where it's going. I like the direction. I don't know how long they'll keep Jacob Fatu with him, because I think he'll end up outshining the rest of them. But I'm a big fan of Tama Tonga. And once the other one could stop blowing spots and making mistakes, he can't. He'd be on the right path too. But you see, they're punishing him early, so maybe he'll get those jitters out, and maybe he'll get on the right page. Like I said, sometimes you find better wrestlers in tag teams.
Yeah.
So you'll really find out if he's ready for the main stage. You'll let them work together, and they'll find out. And I'm sure he's ready. They're all ready. They obviously went in there without going through NXT. They felt like they were ready to be on the card. They wouldn't have made that type of mistake, I feel like. And they do make mistakes. I'm not saying that they don't, but I don't feel like they would have made that big of a mistake if they don't think he's not really ready for the situation.
Yeah, I agree. Adam, any thoughts on Solo Sikoa and his run so far with the bloodline?
I don't think he's a true leader, but I think he's becoming one. But what he said, he is doing a pretty good job without Paul Heyman, so that shows more respect. Because Heyman usually his mouthpiece, but Solo is growing on me.
Yeah, he's like a weed, man. He's growing on you. He just won't stop growing. You can cut him down if you want. He will be back. And the whole Jacob Fatu thing, it kind of makes me think, if about outshining Solo, if he's going to be the Solo to Solo's, the way Solo was to Roman, is he going to overtake Solo like Solo overtook Roman? Solo going to go away and Jacob take over? I don't know if Jacob could talk. All I seen him is make all sorts of crazy ass faces and do some amazing
Jacob
things.
could talk too. Yeah, he's got some talking skills. But I still think The Rock is running all of this, to be honest with you. there's got to be the final boss hasn't said a word yet, from what we know. So, and Solo was taking orders from somebody else. He clearly said that. People forgot he was taking orders from somebody else too. So we got to tie the final boss in there somewhere. There's a lot of things. There's so many different angles. This is the best wrestling's ever been, honestly.
I agree. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how they sort things out. Like we've all been waiting to hear something from the final boss, from The Rock, and the fact that we haven't heard anything yet just keeps building it. So I think it's great. The suspense that they're building for that, for when we finally find out if Rock is involved or is not, because he has to be involved. He absolutely has to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think. Go ahead.
No, we'll find out on Netflix. I think when everything moves over that way, that's when he'll come back, because you notice he was already in Netflix mode.
Yeah.
While he was there, he was fully ready for it. So I think we'll get him back then. We're starting to see signs of everybody else making their way coming back as well. So I think we got another.
Kurt says, look up Jacob and MLW. You'll be sold. So there we go. Major League Wrestling, I believe that is, right? MLW.
He'll be able to tell you. He spits these wrestling companies out. He's like a dragon when it comes to these wrestling companies. Somebody will pop out. I'm like, bro, who's that? Oh, he'll spit facts. Like, I'm like, how do you know these people? But he does the research. He's the brainiac of us two when it really comes down to this.
Yeah. Well, so where did you wrestle? So you were an independent wrestler. Like what was your main?
Okay, my main area was here in Johnstown, PA, where we're located. We got to the traditional story. We were like basic kids who started out in the backyard, whole bunch of us. We built a ring out of wooden pallets, rugs. We had a dressing room, and we would get, all the little kids in the neighborhood would really come and watch this. So that was around my like 12 to 15 age range. So then right around when I turned 21, so about 20 years old, some of the same guys that I came up with, they're like, hey man, we got a wrestling ring. So and I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, yo, no, we got like a real wrestling ring. So I'm like, all right, let's check it out. So we had there was an abandoned church, probably about 5 minutes from where I live now. And I walk in there and they have this real wrestling ring. So they're like, yeah, we're going to run shows every so often. Make a long story short, we had about 9 shows in this abandoned church. Obviously, we got shut down. And that's a long, long part of the story. But we would get crowds of 200 to 300 people inside this church.
Wow.
And I mean, it was totally insane to me. I couldn't believe it. Like, the walls would be sweating, the church would be shaking, and these people loved it. And I mean, we would be back there so hyped, like, yo, we're on to something. So eventually, like I said, we had about 9 shows, which we ran about every 2 weeks. So it got shut down, and we were all kind of just like sitting around, like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So one of our, like, the originator, the one that we started in the backyard with, he was like, hey guys, man, I think I can make this happen for us. And he was like, I'm gonna try to get a promoter's license. I'm gonna get us a ring. I'm gonna do this. And we're all kind of like, yeah, whatever. And before you know it, he has a promoter's license and he has a ring. And we're putting off shows. We started putting them in a little gymnasiums, and we would still, now that people were actually paying for us, because inside the church it was obviously free events.
Yeah.
But we still couldn't believe it that people were just paying for these kids from the backyard. But around that time, we were watching ROH wrestling. So, and this is 2009, 2010. So this is actually before ROH was big. So we were doing moves and certain things that people never saw yet. So they were investing into us because they're like, yo, these dudes are crazy. And it was normal to us. So then before you know it, we're getting crowds of 200, 300, and then we're getting put down in front of Thunder in the Valley. We have a big motorcycle rally here in town. And they would invite us down there. Next thing you know, there's thousands of people standing around the ring. And then before you know it, we were on TV every single week. We were on like right before we were on Fox. We were also on ABC. Like people started just like investing into us because we were just a bunch of kids who really loved wrestling. We weren't getting paid for it. We just wanted to do this thing and put on things for the community. And it blew up. And, this is kind of where I'm at today. I really don't wrestle anymore. I kind of like strayed away from it. But now I'm here meeting new guys like you who all enjoy wrestling just like I do. So it still gives me that joy of no longer participating in it.
That's awesome. Hey, you know what? Never say never. You never know what's going to draw you back in, man.
Oh, I wrestled. Make a long story short, a few years ago, I caught a health issue. So, it actually right in the middle of my big title. I had a big title reign going. Everything was. I was starting to get. I was starting to get shows in West Virginia. People were starting to pick me up down that way. They were starting to see that I had like a decent talent. And they wanted to bring me on. And I caught a health issue right in the middle of this. And I kind of thought it was just like, oh, it's nothing normal. Well, 3 months down the road, it basically almost killed me. So, so I stepped away from it. I was still, helping out in the locker room. I joined the commentary team. So I was part of the commentary team for a while there. And then eventually it was 5 years in between. And then I did go back, and I guess I heard. I think Kurt told me you guys were talking about the ladder match, or sorry, me jumping off the ladder.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, from the time I got the illness till that match, it was 5 years in between. That was my return match. So I went out and I gave it my all, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, you've seen some of it, so
I thought it was badass. And then now knowing that it was 5 years in between, that's scary as shit.
It was 5 years in between. We picked up the storyline kind of where it left off. I was feuding with Randall Fairway. Then I got sick. I was still even out there doing stunts and didn't even know I was having heart issues.
Yeah.
I'm going through tables. I'm doing all kinds of stupid stuff. But yeah, it took 5 years in between, and then they called me back and they was like, hey man, we're doing a big show at the arena in your town. We know how important it was for you to wrestle in there. They're like, do you think you can do it? And I'm like, without even hesitation, I said yes. That's not even knowing if I could train. I trained for it, or I just was like, yes, I need to go out on my own terms. And I went back and chose to wrestle Randy because I knew we could put a good story together. And when we did, it started up basically the CM Punk thing. That's why it's funny watching CM Punk. He stole my Hall of Fame ring. He burned up my. They made me a big banner for the Hall of Fame. He lit it on fire. So we had a great story. I wish you guys could have seen the build up to that too, because I think you would have really enjoyed it. We put a lot of work into the build up for it.
Yeah.
So, and then the match turned out to be what it was. I'm jumping off ladders and getting hit with guitars. So,
well, I think I did see the guitar part too. Now you say that, I think that rings a bell. So yeah, that's fantastic.
I got introduced to the song called Wonderwall that night. I never heard the song, till that night, but I got introduced to it.
Well, that's Oasis, I think, right? Right, Adam Glenn, you're a big Oasis fan.
Yeah. I had to go do my research after he hit me with the guitar.
All right, we got a couple comments here before we move on to the next match. We got Kurt saying the final boss is the final boss for a reason. This definitely isn't going to stop at Solo for Roman. So yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see a lot more of this. This isn't, a lot of people are talking about this being War Games, but even if it is, that's not going to be the end of it. It's just going to it's going to continue for a while yet. WrestleMania is kind of, I think your ending spot might be, or
we could, honestly, in my opinion, we could probably drag this out another year and a half.
Oh, absolutely. Years. Well, with all the different parts, that they have into it right now, there's so many different directions.
Oh, there's so many, and there's still more Samoans that they haven't even brought in yet. So,
they're everywhere.
I mean, they're flooding Samoans right now. So,
well, and so the one independent show, independence promotion that I go to see a lot in my area, American Excellence Wrestling, they have one of the Bloodline members. It's Lance Anoa'i, or however you say the last name. How do you say
he was supposed to perform here, but he was supposed to actually perform at one of our shows before.
Yeah.
And he ended up not coming. I honestly couldn't tell you what happened, but
But I think the last 2 times that he missed with American Excellence Wrestling, the first time was Roman's father died, and then the second time it was when his brother died.
His uncle
Stika and,
died.
yeah.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense.
So I was wondering if that, because both times he was on the bill, and both times it was right after that death, and then he wasn't there after the Wild Samoans passed away. So we have Scott Shelton says, I can see Jacob turning on the bloodline, especially after he was taken out of his tag team belt. That brings up something interesting as well when he made Solo made Jacob give the belt back to Tonga Loa, who again, kinds of messes a lot of spots up. And I seen a lot of stuff on him about like in his past where he messed a lot of spots up. But I'll tell you what, it's not easy. You're out there like I get it. People like, oh, it's a botch, but I'm like,
I don't care how many fans you're in front of. I always tell people, like, I don't think people understand how hard professional wrestling really is. And I mean, you're going from, he was in front of decent crowds. We're not saying that he wasn't in front of decent crowds before, but you're going from those crowds to, 20,000, 25,000 people in a couple weeks. You're like, your life completely changed. So but I know they put people around you to work with you there. They are very, they're too patient with some people sometimes. So I think they'll let it rock out. They'll figure out how they can get him to where they need him and really show ready. I think that's another reason why they're like, all right, you know what? We really can't take the belt from him. That's kind of a little bit too much. They already made him wear the eye patch to take a couple weeks off. So maybe they're slowly trying to form how they can get him to where they need him, because it's all over the internet, all his blotches and all. But I'm sure if you really looked into my matches, you could see 1,000 blotches that I had, and you could see me roll my eyes or something along the lines like, "What are you doing?" Like, it's all part of the nature of the game. Honestly, it's the hardest sport in the world. I don't care what anybody says.
Absolutely, it's definitely not easy. I'll say that. After watching it, for years up close, and then on TV and all that stuff, it just when you see a botch, it's I never think like they messed up. Oh my God, he sucks in. No, I'm thinking, oh my God, hopefully he's all right. Hopefully this guy's all right, because a botch could lead to injury or serious injury.
Now, when you see them consistently, because there are a couple of them who you consistently keep seeing like making those same mistakes, you're like, come on.
Yeah.
But again, it's not easy when you're out there. Your mind is thinking of so many different things. You're an entertainer. You're an athlete. You know what I mean? You got to think when to look for this camera. You got to think to look for. There's so much that you're thinking about, and honestly, if you're never fully in that situation, you never understand. I can think about times I busted out the curtain and I was so excited for the match itself. I bust out the curtain like I have no idea what's going on out here. Yeah, but I would just go with the flow. It just happens. I'm so excited. You get pumped up. You hear your music. There's so much going on, and then there's still maybe 4 or 5 minutes from the time you're in the locker room to the time the bell rings. You you got the crowd, and then you're just instantly like, oh my God, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And I think that happens to a lot of people. Like, it happens to Jade. I think it's a different world for her out there. So it happens to everybody. It is hard to nitpick on people about the blotches.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to nitpick, but we have the keyboard warriors out there that do that. So
that's what we do.
We got Scott says, and could you guys maybe see Cody turning heel down the road now that the original tribal chief is face? I don't know. I don't know. Adam, could you see Cody turning heel now that Roman is a face? Can you see that?
Well, will Cody go against Roman?
Well, just Cody turning heel in general. Wouldn't that be something if Cody ends up fighting with the New Bloodline? He's on the New Bloodline side. He loses the title to Solo, and he's like, you know what? You can't beat him. Join him. Wouldn't that be something? I ain't saying that would happen. I'm just saying that'd be funny. I'm not saying
we
that would
like
happen.
hypotheticals.
and that's a different
Yeah,
universe.
I think I don't know if Cody would be a good heel or not because I don't think he has like he might it might be a toss up because he might be able to do it, but I'm not really sure if it's a good idea to turn him heel because being a face, the crowd loves him and the crowd loves his family.
All right, here we go. We're back. We're back, baby. All right, everybody froze, but we're good now, I think.
Oh, did we freeze? I thought
Yeah, well, no,
I could hear everything good and clear.
First Adam went off my screen. It could
Okay.
be me, but off my screen, first Adam froze, then it was you, but now we're all back and we're good to go. But yeah, then my little Wi-Fi icon popped up.
Okay.
And so that's probably on me.
If you pass it to me, right now, you could say no, because you've been looking for this guy that you can make the ultimate superhero. You've been looking for this. So he is that guy, but I'll tell you right now, eventually Cody is going to turn heel, and he's going to be one hell of a good heel because of his microphone skills, because he has that, how do I want to say it? The articulate talk.
Yeah.
He talks. So if you take the good guy smirky and you turn it into an asshole flat out with the big words and it's going to be money. It's going to be money when it happens. Is it going to be a while from now? Absolutely, because there's going to, other than Seth Rollins, there's really nobody that the crowd can just always be right behind. And then there's like a Sami Zayn because they feel bad for him all the time, but he's just not world heavyweight champion material. He is, but he's not. He's in that fence with me. Maybe the other title, but I don't see him carrying the main title for the show. But Cody being a heel, not to get off subject, I think eventually it'll happen, and it'll be all the little kids will be destroyed, and all the Cody fans who sing in the entrance song, and they love the smile and everything about him. The turn is going to be inevitable at some time, and it's going to be good. We'll never see it coming, but it'll be good.
I tell you, we're still waiting for John Cena heel turn, so I don't know if we'll ever see the Cody heel turn. But I do agree. We've seen Cody heel before years ago,
and
obviously,
and
it was good. It was good, and I think we have a seasoned Cody. He's been around the business a long time now.
That's what I was.
And I think it'd be even better. So I'm ready for it. I can't wait to see it. But again, we waited a long time and never got the John Cena heel turn, which I'm happy. I like John Cena as the superhero, Super Cena and stuff like that. I like that
I do.
Cena.
I do too, but man, lately, like I said, old Kurt McGurk been playing that Thugonomics song, and my goodness, it was so good. He played it one day, and it registered, but it didn't register, and it just so happened. I want to say maybe he put up something on our page, and I was like, man, this song is really good, and I mean, the word life John Cena's where he started. I think it would have been good, but I think he wants to kind of go out as the happy-go-lucky Cena, go out the good way.
Yeah.
Let Rock go out as the heel, because that's what Rock's always been best at, and let Cena go out as face. Because you could see that their time's going, and maybe we'll get Randy a heel one more time before he leaves. Because
I think so too.
Because again, that's who they are, and that's what they were. So there's a couple of them that I think would be some good ways to go out. This next year is going to be so good.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of different ways this can go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on to the next match, we had Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Alba Fire, or no, Alba Dawn. Yeah, no, right? Am I right? Yeah, Fire and Dawn. You know who I'm talking about. It's with Dawn and Alba Fire. That's why I get it mixed up.
Alba Fire, I think.
Yes, it is with Dawn.
There we go. There we go.
So again, this was a surprise to me a little bit of a surprise. I didn't think that they were going to take the titles off of Dawn and Fire, just because they work so well together. They're fantastic in the ring. I thought they've been cutting great promos recently. And they're good as heels. I like them. His heels are kind of dastardly a little bit. They're kind of like getting out by the skin of their teeth, kind of. And I thought they've been doing a great job. But then they take the titles off and give them right back to Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. And Bianca is, in my opinion, is just carrying them. I'm not a big fan of Jade Cargill. Yeah, she's strong, she's beautiful, but Bianca's strong also. Bianca's beautiful. And Bianca, I think, can do a lot more than what Jade can. And I can't wait to see Bianca in singles competition again. So, thoughts on this match? Larry, we'll start with you this time. Go ahead, bud.
All right, yeah. Again, yeah, I'm not big on Alba Fire yet, but it is still it's good because they need a good, solid women's tag team. This tag team thing has been floundering since they've attempted to bring it in. It's so you do need somebody that you feel like you can carry it. Not, I kind of had a feeling that they was going to go back to the girls with that because obviously, again, the inevitable is those two, or Jade turning on Belair, because obviously Jade's going to be a better heel than she is a face. Jade, again, I'm with you there. We're agreeing a lot tonight, my man. The look is great. I've said this since day one. Like, the look is good. The everything that the spectacle that they're making her, but the in ring, it's not there. And it's kind of disappointing. It's starting to be a few months because everyone was like, "Hey, it's going to get better," and it hasn't gotten better. And it hasn't gotten better. And she's trying, and I did feel like if anything, the crowd wasn't into that match like the other ones. They started to get into that match throughout it, but when they first came out, they couldn't even. I mean, and I think it's pulling Belair down, like you said, because even when she made her entrance, the crowd just wasn't what they normally are.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but she's doing her job. She's not letting it get the best of her. That Jade is kind of bringing her down because they don't want to tear each other down. They're on this whole woman's thing. We're not trying to tear you down. So I kind of had a feeling that they was going back to them because I think eventually here we're going to finally see the deterioration and maybe start to get ready for. I don't think Jade's ready for a main event match with Belair though, and that's what they would try to bill it as. And I don't think she's ready. Maybe a Royal Rumble big match, but WrestleMania, I don't want Jade on out there right now.
Not as a singles competitor anyway.
No. You're gonna need to keep covering up, just letting her come in, do the hot tag, be strong, be fast. But other than that, yeah, she's just and it's kind of holding Naomi back again because Naomi's kind of stuck in a hard place again. Because they brought her back just to be floating.
Yeah.
Not really doing nothing. So I said maybe they need to add some of these girls to the bloodline. They're family members.
Yeah.
They're family members. You throw Nia in over there. Nia protects Naomi. There's something and that would be another heel tag team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something to do with her. I just don't know. And they just have to do better with these women tag team titles.
Well, I absolutely agree. Adam, what were your thoughts on this match?
I kind of thought Bianca and Jay would win it back, because they gave it to Alpha 5 because they were in the home country, that one girl. So I'm not surprised Jade and Bianca won it back.
All right. And so, Adam, well, what are your thoughts on Jade Cargill? You good, bad, indifferent, care, don't care?
Really don't pay too much. She's not good on the mic. She's not real good on the mic, and I guess I think Bianca carries her.
Yeah.
No, a good wrestler, like you said, a singles. If they break up that tag team, I think that kills her career.
Before it even gets started, I think that cat's carrying you, Adam Glenn.
He's trying to muscle her away.
And so a lot of times with tag teams that are thrown together like this, where you have two singles competitors thrown together in a tag team, you have one protecting the other until the other one's caught up to speed, kind of. I think you see that a lot. And I think that's where we're at with Jade and Bianca. It just doesn't seem like she's progressing all that much. And we've said this a bunch of times on the drop before, that sooner or later it's going to be a Jade turn on Bianca, whether it's because they lose the titles or whatever it is, or she thinks that Bianca's showing her up, or like we went over through so many different scenarios where the turn could happen. But when it does happen, it's like I can't believe that Jade Cargill would go over Bianca Belair. I just see Bianca so much higher than Jade Cargill in ring and on mic as well, that it's not, they want to make it believable too. So it's not believable to me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It's just like not believable, but they will like I guess like since Vince isn't there anymore, you do have somebody probably like she can't go over. Yeah, but if Vince was there, she's big, she looks like this, she looked like so. Yeah, it's kind of like where are they going to go with this? I think it would have to be a hell of a story. I would think it'd have to get. I think they'd have to like really start to make it personal for us to get sucked into it a little bit. Because right now we're all just like, we like Belair and Jade is just Jade. And I thought I would have got over the AEW Jade by now. But it's just like, this is the same old thing. She's just big and pretty and what else?
A couple body slams and some sort of
body slam, maybe like a choke slam.
Yeah, it's like
and a kick, and that's all you can get. That's they invested a lot of money into her, so they have to do something about it. That their money's tied up in it. You got to do something with it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. They have to figure out a way to use her to get her over, to get her. And I guess the thing is, like, when you have that as much money as WWE does and the production that they do, you can get by with some faults and stuff like that. You can pass it by, but they're gonna have to do a lot of work for you not to notice some of the shortcomings that Jade Cargill has as of right now. And that's not saying that in a while that she can't turn it around and be much better, because I still think that Nia has turned around. I think Nia has gotten much better than what she used to be since she has gotten her second run here.
Phenomenal run. She deserved this title run because she's been good in the locker room personally. She's been having way better matches. People were disappointed in her matches. She's been having better matches. This one's that's another good call. I like that one.
Like even her TikToks. If you're in a TikTok or not, I TikTok or whatever. Her TikToks are fantastic. You see she's having fun. She's having fun with the other female stars. Whereas the last time she was in there, you heard them, not getting along with the other female stars,
bullying,
body shaming. Yes,
bullying people. So yeah, she's turning out to start to be the locker room leader that she could be.
Yeah,
and they need them.
We got a couple comments here. We got Jeffrey Rush. Quarterback and tight end past decade has made whole league look like clowns. Mm-hmm. Brady, Gronk, Mahomes, Kelsey. Mm-hmm. And this year it's going to be Minshew and Bowers. So mark it down. That's the next great quarterback.
There's going to be a couple good ones. Let's not sleep on Goff and Laporta.
Yeah, Sam Laporta he had a pretty big season last year with the Detroit Lions as well as Goff, but we got to see Goff do it a couple seasons in a row, I think, before he become a believer in Jared Goff. Mm-hmm. We got another comment here from Kurt. He says, we're definitely getting heel Randy versus Cody. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny he brings that up. I was going to say something about this earlier when we were talking about Randy Orton, maybe potentially seeing, the old Viper coming back, before his run's eventually done here in WWE. But I seen a clip today. It came up on Reels or whatever. It was Cody Rhodes. I guess it was what they call that. It was where Randy was leading Cody and
Legacy.
It was Legacy, and Dusty helped Legacy win a match. Right? I can't remember what it was, like how it all happened. They showed the end of it. There's Dusty. Cody's raising Dusty's hand, and then Randy ended up RKOing him, and Cody's freaking out and stuff like that. Then Cody kind of submits to Randy, and that's it. And I'm just looking like, holy Christ, Randy Orton looks like he's 15 years old. First off, the dude looks like, and like you look at him now, it's like he looks super thick now, like a lot of muscle on, but he also looks weathered. He looks old. It's like it's like Randy might be coming to the end of his rope here.
Oh, he is, but you know what? He's still so clean in the ring.
Oh, absolutely. It's
his
fantastic.
movements, all of his movements are so good, and that's still pretty good even with the neck injury and everything. I mean, you could clearly see that he's smartened up. He doesn't do certain things that he did before. It looks like his move set is still the same, but it's slightly changed. He doesn't do a lot of the things that he's done before. And he still looks good doing it. At least everything's still very clean. But yeah, you could see the end of that rope coming. You know, the show, I just watched him and Daniel Bryan and Batista earlier in the WrestleMania. It would happen to be running earlier, and you could see how much even younger he was at what was that, WrestleMania 30?
So something like that, yeah. That's the one where Daniel had to beat one and beat the other, then go for the championship, right?
Yeah. So that was 10 years ago. So you know how much how much he's done since then, and been off in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
one of the goats. That 100% Randy Orton, man. Fantastic.
He is great. Hall of Famer. He deserves some type of title. If it's going after Cody, taking the title from Cody, I totally agree with that.
Wouldn't that be something if Randy turned heel on Cody and took the title from that? That'd be something. That really would be.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I think, I mean, you get the legend killer. You know, you guys are trying to push me out of here, type thing. Like I'll end you guys' career before it even starts. So I mean, it could. I mean, yeah, I definitely see it happening at some point. I don't know if it's Cody, because of, like I said, that when they put that title on you, they want you to be the guy.
Yeah.
So. And like you said, you notice he been eyeing up the other belt, kind of like everybody else been lately. So, because they do want to make this belt legit, you know, and it's, I mean, and so far, all three champions, I'm proud of what they've done with it so far. So I can ride with that if they're gonna make this belt seriously the next to the best belt.
Yeah. Eileen is asking me a question. She says, "You think Jade has improved since AEW?" I cannot answer this because I have not watched Jade in AEW. I have never watched AEW because AEW is on a time that I cannot watch it. So, Adam, Jade is better. You watch AEW, Adam?
I don't watch AEW.
Larry, it's for you then, buddy.
All right, it's for me. Like I said, I didn't catch everything Jade did in AEW, but from what I did, like I said, I love how they built her. I mean, I love what they was doing with her, but wrestling wise, in ring wise, yeah, that the answer is no. Yeah, yeah. Let's be honest. Thanks for talking for me, Kurt. Yeah, the answer is no. She's honestly, I don't even think she's taken one step better, which is honestly, like, that's really disappointing, because I had people arguing with me on the internet about this already, and I'm just like, this just ain't it. Just because you see so much other talent too, and you just see so much other talent that's like levels above her already, and they're not the size of her, and I get it, but that's because the size thing that wore off years ago. Like, it's not about size anymore. It's about microphone. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, she's ahead of people just based on what she's getting paid, and this is what they put into her. So now they have to push her on us. But no, I think she could be down there working NXT and doing a lot better. What did Kurt say here?
Kurt is saying the presentation and everything is the same. She didn't have to seek much in AEW, so there's some improvement there, but no. And he also said she did not have to sell much.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eileen says she did watch her in AEW, and she also had a mouthpiece in AEW. I do not know who the mouthpiece was.
Oh, yes, yep, she did. Yeah, she did. She did have somebody. That was kind of like right when I first started trying to attempt to watch AEW, because I always just assumed the matches were way too long. So I just was like, I can't get into this.
Yeah.
So, but I do remember having I remember her coming out with like cheerleaders or something one time. It's a little bit faint to me. There's nothing that other than being at AEW, even being at AEW live. Me and Kurt went. I want to say it was probably maybe their fifth live show ever, like outside of where they were, and like nothing really stands out to me from that show because there's just so much happening. There's not like WWE makes sure there's things that you remember,
Yeah.
and they just like pile so much on you, so much so fast that you can't even intake it. I think the only thing that I remember from that night is like right behind us, Chris Jericho and them broke a window and they did something, but literally from that night there, I really remember nothing from it.
He said Smart Mark and the other guy, I forget his name, and then he came back and said Stokely.
Okay, yep, he knows it. He knows it.
Kurt McGirt knows his stuff, man.
Man, I told you that's my little encyclopedia, man. He's like Michael Cole, man. He's good for it, man. He's good to have you there. Like, hey, man, when did this happen? He'll run it to you.
So he's the Michael Cole. He's the
Yeah,
Michael
he
Cole.
definitely. Yeah, he's definitely. I might do more talking between out of us two, but he's definitely he's keeping my brain going. Tick 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 tick. He's
So you're the McAfee and he's the Michael Cole. Everybody, we got it. The part-time marks. We got it. We got to figure it out.
Yeah, I think you just got it. I think you just got it.
And Kurt says he missed his. Oh no, hang on. I missed one here. He said he missed his calling in the business. There we go.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Eileen said, "Thank you, Kurt. I could not remember his name for some reason." Eileen, I forget everything all the time. So Larry, if you ever watch any of these shows that I do, I sit there a lot and I go blank, and then I sit there. What the hell was his name? I forget. And then there's times where I'm doing a show by myself, my other shows, the Bat Cave or the Silver and Black Lair. So I have nobody to help me out. So I'm stuck there, and then sweat starts rolling down. Like I can't remember the name.
Oh, that's how our first part-time Mark show goes. First part-time Mark show, we're on for 30 seconds, and bam, his screen goes off.
I remember that. Yes.
I was like, oh, should I faint or should I act like I, like I said, it was kind of like one of those things. Like one of my friends was watching, and he said it. He was like, I love that you just went into it. And I said, man, sometimes I use wrestling a lot in my life. So like I've been there where you had to like instantly think just like that. So I just like, you know what, I'm just gonna run and we'll see where it takes us.
And
but
you
yeah, you got
it.
guys like us now.
Job.
You can hit me up anytime you need somebody to chat back and forth with. And I'm usually free for it.
So yeah, you did a hell of a job with that. I was impressed because like it's just like that. It's your first show, and he was going, "Uh oh, what's gonna happen?" And it's like shit. Because I remember
I don't want to faint. I don't want to faint live on TV.
Yeah, you got a couple hundred people watching or whatever, and all of a sudden, I'm out.
Yeah, and I didn't want it to go out like that, so I wanted to make sure I can hang on for us too.
All right, so all right, let's move on to the next match. We had the Terror Twins, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest versus Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan, and for an intergender tag team match, it was a pretty good match. It told a story. It told a great story. Some great spots. I really dug when you had Priest and Rhea when they were doing the similar move sets together in the middle of the ring. There, what they did the Razor's Edge, and
they did the double clap. They did the double clap.
Yes, the double ear clap, which you don't see anymore. You hardly ever see that. It's a great move.
Oh,
and the Razor's Edge.
Man, it was another good match. You don't usually see, like you said, you usually don't see mixed tag match that good. That the story, the ending, I think everything was really good. I mean, and there's the small details. Again, I'm into the small details. The selling by Rhea Ripley, her selling, her facial expressions. Dom is clearly one of my favorites right now. Again, the way he separated himself from his dad and to carry on this character and, Latino heat a little bit in there. Yeah. I'm all for it. And I love how the announcers use him. Dom he's a lot higher on the tier than people think he should be. I thought Liv did good, or her selling was really good in that match too. I feel like she's getting better and better too. She goes, at first I was kind of, there's something missing. But I feel like her selling in the in-ring has gotten a lot better. Finn Balor selling, his facial expressions. His facial expressions are telling big stories.
Huge, yes.
So, yeah, I think that was another maybe 4.5 star match. I thought it was really, really good.
I like so my thoughts when you had Judgment Day come down. I'm like, well, there's no way that Priest and Rhea are winning this match.
You're right.
And they were able to pull it out. I was really surprised by that. Adam, what were your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was a great match. When I got a 5-star match, I agree with that. It was a great match, one of the best matches in the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the Terror Twins, but I think they need more help. They need to find someone. But then they won't be able to be the Terror Twins if they find someone.
Well, they could still be the Terror Twins. They just have to add another one.
He hates that name, man. He hates that name, buddy.
I don't like Terror Twins.
I'm sorry, it's growing on me. Like, I like it, but
okay, it's been a week. It's been a week.
It is like I like it, but it is growing on me. Because like now I see, like it's Damian and Mommy. It is like Terror Twins. It is growing on me.
Okay, all right. Big change from a week.
And so I agree, Adam. I do think that they're going to end up needing help because they're way outnumbered right now with the Judgment Day. But do they? Because they were still outnumbered, but they still won the match. They still were able to come out on top and clean them out pretty good. Carlito taking a hard bump. JD getting blown up into the front row basically.
Best sell. Probably the best salesman in the company.
Oh, JD is
killed.
Awesome.
He gets killed every week.
And he sells it so well. He takes that hard bump, makes it look so much worse than it actually is. I'd assume. I assume it still hurts like hell, but it looks like he's dying.
Yeah,
he got shoulder blocked. Like, oh, bye, JD. Like, that's
he jumped into the second or third row. They need help, but they don't need help. They want to build them to, even they're building them together, but they're still continuously building them as solo people still. So it's kind of hard to say they need help, but like kind of with Jey Uso kind of just floating and then him joking around. Like, I think we brought this up the other day, like where we were saying that him joking around kind of now is forcing the crowd. They're kind of forcing him into the story. Because if you ever notice, no sooner they start getting jumped, the crowd's chanting, yeet, yeet, yeet. They want Jey Uso a part of this story, but in reality, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So if anybody helps him, it's going to be Jey. But now, like you said, you got Rikishi complaining on the internet. They probably don't even want to tie all that together.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they're still being smart with Liv and Dom. Like, because I guess that, they were saying about Liv and Dom, Rikishi said, what's he going to do? Is he going to be in a story? Is he going to be kissing Mommy? Or are you trying to ruin his marriage? And they're doing the same thing with Liv. They're doing the nosy nose thing. And Dom just got married like not even a month ago. So
he got married during what was it? Was it WrestleMania season or right around there somewhere? He has not been married long, and it is kind of weird.
It's only been about a month, because Rhea and Damian were there. So they were celebrating with them. So that was a great match. It
was a really good match, and they're building, but by having Rhea and Damian Priest not needing the help, they're building them to be kind of like monsters, to really, and for when they do eventually go back to singles and stuff like that, because Rhea is not going to be done with Liv yet until she probably gets that title back, but then you're going to have Finn versus Damian. Obviously, I think that's your end game with this. And they're building Damian and they're building Rhea to look like really like unbeatable monsters, and it's just I think that's good. I think that's what you need, and
I think this is helping Finn too, like you said.
Yeah,
I think because he's so good, but he's always floating.
And I kind of miss Finn Balor being like really relevant in the singles light. Like I want to see him back as a singles wrestler. And back maybe even like in like some sort of title picture, at least some major storylines that he's not kind of like on the back burner or just like
Yeah,
a part of a
even get
group.
him
And
back in that Intercontinental.
yeah,
Even get him back and maybe the world title just ain't for him. I mean, Vince kind of just said, "You got hurt, never again."
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
he's
like, and
not
that's
durable.
yeah, and he's super talented. He's got that look, and I think he could. Even though he's saying there's no leader of the Judgment Day, obviously he's the leader.
Obviously,
He's
yes.
the one. So, and I mean, he's probably going to be the better talker out of all them. You know what I mean? He has the better look. He has the better everything. And that, like I said, and that also keeps a good spot for Carlito because he'd be fighting Latinos like all the rest of them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good that he's in the mix of that. It keeps him out of just fighting Latinos. And like I said, it's good for JD because they don't have like a lightweight division where he would where he would really shine at.
And that I brought this up so many different times on the drop for so long about them bringing back some sort of cruiserweight division. I feel like they need it just so guys like JD have a little bit of a spotlight on. Like it's like and I always harken back to the days of WCW when you had guys like Benoit, Jericho, Ultimo Dragon, and all those
Psychosis,
guys.
right?
Psychosis,
All of
yeah.
them. That was the best part of the show during that 3 hours.
Absolutely.
I mean, you knew what you were going to get. You got 10 minutes of the best wrestling you've never seen in your life. You couldn't even believe people were moving like this at that point in time. And yeah, I've always said that they need that type, especially because I'm a small guy too. So I was always like, please bring that back so I have a chance. But yeah, they have all those super talented, Latinos right now, that they're getting there, but they're just not ready. You know what I mean? Even Andrade, like he's super good, but there's something always still missing.
Yep.
And then they're trying to promote the other guy too over there on SmackDown. I always lose his name. He got the tag team.
Escobar or
yes,
Santos Escobar.
He's starting to come around too. He's starting to really come around too. But like as long as he doesn't have a mask on, I think they're more successful that way.
Yeah.
Once they put a mask on, that they try to compare you to Rey Mysterio, then you got to try to live up to this, and then they don't give you a microphone because you ever notice there's never any world champion with a mask on.
No.
That's never gonna happen. So yeah. But going back to the Terror Twins, I think we had another 4 to 5 star match, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a very, very good match. I was pleasantly surprised because, again, like I said, when you have an intergender match or a mixed tag match, I always kind of lower my expectations. But you have to remember, back in the, I would say back in the day, it wasn't that long ago, but when you'd have a mixed tag match, usually the female wrestler of the two wasn't much of a wrestler. But now, like the women wrestler of today, they are, fantastic performers, athletic, super athletic. And you shouldn't be expecting that they can't carry their own weight, because normally they can. So
yes.
So, but whenever I hear it, that's my first thought is we're going to see, a couple girls out there grabbing each other's hair and banging their head. And I don't want to see it.
Yeah. And now they're really starting to let them. They're starting to let them go. Hey, go out there, give your best for these crowd. And if I'm correct, was that the loudest of the night? That they noticed they have that sound bar now when it gets really, really loud, kind of like they do for the Seahawks games. And so I think maybe during that match, I think if I was really paying attention well enough, I think that was actually the hottest point of the night. I think the decimal hit about I think it hit about 108, almost 110. So
yeah, you know what? I did not even notice. I was listening to crowd reaction because I thought the crowd reaction for Gunther Randy Orton was pretty good. Obviously, Gunther being German, but when Ludwig Kaiser came out and he did the introduction for Gunther, I thought that was a decent pop. And when they were going back and forth, where you had some people cheering for Randy and some people cheering for Gunther, I thought that was decent. But again, I didn't even take notice of the sound bar or the decibel meter or whatever you want to call it. Where, like you said, like a Seahawks or a Queefs game, they'll show the sound bar.
Yeah, and I want to say it was probably the hottest point of the night. Like I said, I think it almost hit about 110 when Rhea put him in that I can't think of it was like sort of like a triangle choke in the corner.
Yes.
And that's when it really started getting hot. And that's when, like I said, she had the facial expressions. They started going back and forth. It was, yeah, it was really good.
And like I said about one last thing about this match, her facial expression, like when she gets like wide eyed, like that crazy look, you love it. But also when she's selling, getting, like her arm. I think Liv was working her arm again for a little bit. Just her selling that and stuff. I thought she did a fantastic job. Rhea is always awesome, and Liv getting much better. Liv, looking afraid of Rhea, but then she does eventually take it to Rhea for a bit, and just looking really good. I think those two work well together.
Yeah, I think they're starting to get a really good. They're probably on the road together. They're talking a lot more. I'm sure Rhea's teaching her a lot more as they go because they always wanted Liv to be something. So
Yeah.
then now they found something for her, and I think they're at a good spot with it.
I think I could be wrong about this, but one of those deals, like 10 years down the road, we could look back at this time and say one of the best rivalries in women's wrestling could end up being a Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley if they continue the route they're going. With the whole Liv's revenge tour, like you start off with Rhea injuring Liv, then the Liv's revenge tour and how it worked out and how she broke up the Judgment Day, and then the battles after that. I think you could end up with eventually where you see what is it A&E doing like the WWE rivals, the Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I could see in a few years them doing something like that.
Yeah, because
it's been very good.
This is a great storyline. I never thought Judgment Day would even last this long.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that.
So for it to get carried on and like still be able to like seriously, and like I said, you're making stars out of something, and that's what you really want to do. So yeah, you're right. I think this could be later down the road. This whole Liv and even like I said, even the Dom story. This is all money right now. Dom has been money since since the night he's went to jail. He's been. I put all my chips in on Dom ever since that night when he said I can't go to jail. I said this is probably going to be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I can't believe they've took it this far. The commentators make it so much better. I think what was it Wade Barrett last night? He was it Barrett last night? Somebody was I think it was Barrett. He was sticking up for Dom, and when you're sticking up for him, it makes it so much better. So yeah, the commentary work's been making so much. The freedom of commentary has made things so much better lately too. You don't got Vince McMahon in your ear. They're like, hey man, pretty much go out there and say whatever you want. Just make sure you say these certain things.
Yeah, so some of the stuff that McAfee has said over the past, so many months, and when he was on, you could tell that there's a lot more freedom than there was before. And Wade Barrett, I thought has been fantastic. I loved Wade Barrett when he was wrestling. I was a huge fan. So I secretly hope one day that he gets back into it. Love him or hate him. I always thought he was great. But yeah, the commentary's been awesome.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
Like I said, that's what's great for Michael Cole too, because you could tell Michael Cole's loose, and it's making his job better, and it's, you know what I mean. And now you're starting to get to see the younger side of Michael Cole, you know, because we missed all that. He got picked on all the time, but now that he's sitting there, and you're starting to see you're starting to get that character out of him, like what we really miss from him. And they're putting the right guys next to him, and he's teaching those guys the right way and still letting them be themselves. And that's what's really good, because even the commentary, even on NXT right now, with Booker T, and I'm not sure the other guy's name, but those two are a great combination. They found a way to really like mesh these people. So
yeah. What were you saying, Adam?
Like, I think the commentary is awesome, especially with McAfee. But McAfee is a great commentary.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's going to hurt the Raw ratings with him going to College Game Day, because he makes Raw.
No,
I don't know if it's going to hurt the ratings, but people are definitely going to miss it.
Yeah, because he brings a different excitement.
Yeah.
It'll never hurt the ratings, but he does. He brings a different excitement. I'm yeeting all over myself. The things that he sneaks and says that he gets away with, and I mean, you can see the freedom of these guys even laughing nowadays. You can hear them turn the mic off so they could get the laugh out of there. But I think Corey, yeah, Corey, I think he's going to step in on Raw because he was trying to be a little different this week too. So he understands how good Pat is for what he is because they're the same, but they're kind of different. So I think he understands how important McAfee is. So he's going to try to channel some of that just so the crowd doesn't lose that.
Yeah. And so Corey Graves has always had some, like, he always had the knack of putting out some smart ass remarks during his commentary. But it's kind of like McAfee. McAfee would put out the smart ass remarks, but he did it in such a way where it was so entertaining and or so funny that you couldn't miss it. Now, when Corey Graves does it, it's not as boisterous, and sometimes it just goes past you. You don't even hear
It goes past you, absolutely, yeah. And it's funny stuff.
Yeah.
It's just you have to just make sure it doesn't go over your head. Excuse me.
All right, so let's move on from this match. Move on to the next match, the co-main event of the night. We had the strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, the Scottish Warrior. Great match. I love the way Drew beat the snot out of. I'm a big Punk fan. I'm a big Drew fan. So this is I couldn't lose in this match. But I love the way Drew actually beat the snot out of CM Punk before the match. Drug his ass into the ring and is just barking at the referee. The referee's yelling at him. The little referee. I'm not sure what his name is yelling at Drew, and Drew's yelling at him, and they'll tell him to put the strap on Punk's wrist. Then and it was a great way to start that match off. And then when they finally do get it going, the way they explained it about going to each turnbuckle, you got to slap each turnbuckle, make the light come on in succession without their momentum being stopped with physical contact by the opponent that resets it if it does, and you start all over again. So the way they explained it, I thought was really good because I couldn't remember the last time I actually watched a strap match. I think back to Rusev and John Cena for some reason. I don't remember if that was a strap match per se, but I remember they had to get to the turnbuckles.
Yeah.
For that one match, I don't remember what pay-per-view that was.
I think the lights. I don't even think it was. I think just them adding the lights to it made it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it was just that small because I was kind of confused by it because, like I said, I had such a long. I'm doing fantasy football and all this stuff this weekend, so I'm dozing off during the pay-per-view. I'm trying not to eat, so because if I eat, I know I'm gonna go to sleep. But I thought instantly the lighting, just those lights added a little bit to it. Now I think you could have more strap matches and again, it's good storytelling. This has been good storytelling since day one. And I think, and again, it's not over yet. I don't think it's over yet because now it's Drew's turn to make sure that CM Punk don't get that belt. So, because remember, this all started because CM Punk just said, I don't want Drew to have the belt. So that's what this whole thing is. So we could still play with this a little longer. And again, you got a good storyline when you could take a 50-cent bracelet and make it mean so much. People totally forgot that these were world champion contenders because they're so focused on these two beating the hell out of each other all the time. I mean, CM Punk, his live is getting more attention than the whole AEW show. I don't know if you knew that, but
I did not.
he went live while he was under the ring. And he
I did see that, yes.
Yeah, and he had more viewers on his live than actually AEW had at the show. So people are sucked in by this storyline. I felt like I wasn't the biggest Drew fan up until recently. I've always thought he might have the best music in the WWE. But because I think his music seriously makes him.
Yeah.
And I'm always just what's he missing? What's he missing? And what he was really missing was them just to continue to keep screwing him over. I think that him getting screwed over and him showing this different, because even one of my friends, he's not big into wrestling, but he was just like, why do they keep doing this to him? I don't understand. And I'm like, bro, this is great. And he's like, like he was like, man, he won the belt at WrestleMania. Like I said, he's not big into it, but he knows what's going on. And he's just like, man, ain't that what you wait for? I said, yeah, man. I said, but he got his moment at WrestleMania. All he needed was that belt for 5 minutes. He got his moment. I said, because you got to remember when he won the championship before, there was nobody there. So even that 5 minutes, he still got what he was deserved. And then from them, I mean, him throwing the microphone at McAfee a few months ago, um, him just being on this tear. CM Punk was the perfect guy. He's an antagonizer. Everybody knows that. So he brought the best out in Drew McIntyre. Now I think he's really ready for a world championship reign.
Absolutely. And you know what? So CM Punk after the match, CM Punk did win the match. Got busted open a little bit, so a little bit of color in that match. But eventually CM Punk did win. It was well done. It's very entertaining for a strap match, and it's had some terrific spots where Drew's carrying Punk around on his shoulder, hitting each turnbuckle, and then as he's doing that, CM Punk is hitting it. Turning it back to his color.
That was money.
That was fantastic. It was. It really
money.
was. But CM Punk after the show was over said now he goes, I'm done with Drew now. He said now it's time for me to whoever wins, I'm going to start going for some gold. So I'm going for the title. And my first thought was Drew ain't gonna let that happen. You screwed Drew over so many times with the title. It's a perfect time for Drew to do that to you.
Absolutely.
And so that was my first thought, to be 100% honest with you. And that is the way they should go, I think, just to continue the storyline, because it's been money. It's been absolute money since they started it. So,
and when you don't need a championship to keep something hot, you don't want to ruin it. Because you're in a good place when you don't have the championship. You can have these because you're not stressing so much about these big matches, and I got to live up to this, and I got to live up to that. We got a good story. We got a good story. We can continue to build off this. And like I said, that bracelet is just as important as a world championship at the moment. So I think it was for a strap match. Yeah, I think it was maybe a 4, maybe a good 4.2.
Very, very solid first strap match. Adam, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was a very good match. Drew dominated and CM Punk dominated. So you didn't have CM Punk dominate the whole match, because you thought at one point Drew was going to win. But I agree. This feud's not over. But like you said, I think CM Punk's going to go after the title and Drew's going to stop him somehow.
Absolutely. So here's a quick question for both of you. Did you guys think at all that we were going to hear Seth Rollins' music hit at all? I thought for a little bit, I'm like, near the end, they're starting to wind down a little bit. I was, where Punk kind of took control. I was kind of like, are we going to hear Seth's music? Maybe even not have Seth come down, but just hear his music. Enough as a distraction for Punk. And, then Drew kind of get over on Punk. Then, did you guys think that at all? That was kind of like a passing thought I had.
You want to go first, Adam?
I don't think I think Steph is going to go after that guy that, gave him all those tsunamis. I don't think he's going to get involved with Drew McIntyre or Punk.
Yeah, I think it's I definitely thought there could be a hint of it, because the crowd loves Seth Rollins' music.
Yeah.
So just that would have been just another theatrical. I just don't know where we would have went with it, since it was a strap match. That was Seth could pop out, but just why right now? So, but it's always in the back of our minds, because they all hate each other so bad. So, yeah.
And that was my thoughts. Kind of like leave a breadcrumb. Hey, remember, Seth and Punk have issues too, and Drew's not a huge fan of Seth either. These three guys, do hate each other, and just a breadcrumb. Just kind of distract Punk. Like I said, he didn't have to be there.
But you know what you say. Hey, maybe Seth Rollins don't want CM Punk to touch that belt neither.
Yeah.
So you're making a good case there to say Seth still is sticking his nose around there too. So, Well,
He's still
because we still didn't get a triple threat yet, so we know
No.
we're gonna get that too. So
Well, and that was the thing that we've talked about before on the drop. Like we're expecting the triple threat between Seth, Drew, and Punk, but like usually where there's a triple threat, usually there's something involved. Like what are they going to wrestle for? Is there something? You'll usually see a triple threat. It's for a title or it's for a tag team. It's
maybe
a
number one
something.
contender finally.
Something. It could be something like that. I just can't see it being like a loser leave town type of thing. I just can't. I can't see that. And I don't think it was gonna be for your hair or nothing like that. Which I do love hair matches, so I think we should have more hair matches. But it's just something funny about somebody getting their head shaved in the middle of the ring. I don't know. It makes me smile. I don't know what it is.
Whatever floats, man. I'm just like, man, that's took a lot of work to get that, man. It's not gonna come back.
Goodbye to the lettuce. But yeah, so I have to. I'm just curious because we're all expecting it. I'm just wondering what they're going to add to it to make it. And it could be a number one contenders match, which all three of those guys do want to be a champion. That's the reason why they're doing it, and they all hate each other. So it could be like a number one contenders type match, or if for some reason let's hope this doesn't come about, but maybe the title's vacant and it's a three-way match.
We have bad blood. We're probably going to need some type of stipulation for that. So I don't know. Where do they go after the strap? Do you lock these guys in a cage?
That could be the next step after a strap match. But I mean, so Punk is ready to move on, and we know that's not going to happen. But we could see at Bad Blood maybe Punk could get his title match right away. And then the bad blood part of it is Drew screwing him over. That's ties right into bad blood. So I mean that could be something, and that continues your feud with Drew McIntyre into the next premium live event, and through the next so many live shows on Monday or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there's so many angles we can go.
That's the great thing about this. There's so many different angles, so many different ways you can go with it. That it makes it a lot of fun.
But where we're at now, man, that we're at that world championship match. So,
yeah,
and
Gunther,
who's gonna beat that guy?
Yeah, and that's he took a hell of a beating from Randy Orton. So Gunther versus Randy Orton in your main event.
Is that not what we have to talk about? Like, because you never see that happen. He never has taken a beating like that, but he needed that to show that he's not a robot. I think everything that they're starting to do now with him, they're doing it for reasons. Like I said, him touching that microphone was the best thing that they could have ever done with him. Because even when I used to watch like the Europe, I didn't know what he could do on the microphone, and then they gave him the microphone against what was it a few months ago, Jey Uso, and that snarky, confident, you know what I mean? It's it was so perfect, and he hasn't missed on the microphone yet.
No.
So, and to finally see him get beat up a little bit, I thought that was a phenomenal match, man.
He gets like that smirky confidence too in his face, like when he talks, he has that like a smirk or
just
like,
real confident.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. He's literally, I mean, he's the best thing smoking right now, and he's the most bland, original thing possible. But I think that they love this, that you can have somebody so basic be this good. Because there's some people that have endless talent that could not be as good as Gunther. And like I said, I knew from the first. I remember I was watching Europe. That was right when my health first started. So I would catch on to Europe, and I'm like, who is this dude? And I would keep sending them to my friend, like, bro, who is this man? And then he finally showed. He was like, man, I've been watching this guy. And then he showed me a match of Ilya and him that I'd never seen. And I was like, when these guys make it to the big time, this is going to be the most insane thing that people's ever seen, and they're not ready for it yet. Like, they're not at all ready for it yet, because I've seen this 5 or 6 years ago. So I know what they're capable of, so I can't wait till we finally get to that. And they're going to tease it for 2 years at least.
Oh, my God, yeah. It's going to be a while before we get Dragunov and Gunther, but when we do, it's going to be spectacular.
Money.
And so Adam, what were your thoughts on this match and the beating that Gunther took? And he still, he even took a couple RKOs and kicked out of him, which was insane. You don't see that very often. But the dominance by Randy Orton and Gunther being able to overcome and persevere and retain that title. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was a good match, and I think like Orton put him over, because he survived the RKOs and being like you said. So I think that put Gunther over.
Yeah, he needed this match. He needed to wrestle somebody that really has a real name, and he needed to take a beating to show that he can be weakened, but what's going to actually take him down? And I think it's going to be a long time. I just don't see them putting it on him and them taking it anytime soon.
And that's the thing. Like we've seen Gunther in trouble a little bit. We've never seen Gunther beaten though, like beat down like the way Randy Orton beat him down. Obviously he's lost to Sami Zayn for the title, but he wasn't beaten down. He was not, absolutely not. We've seen those great matches between he and Chad Gable, but you didn't see him get dominated or beaten down. You've seen a lot of his opponents overcoming his beating.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one he did the opposite. He was the one just getting thoroughly dominated by Randy Orton, and it was really, really awesome to see Gunther able to come back out of that and then win through a sleeper hold. That's the other thing that's kind of interesting, is that the sleeper hold. You talk about the bland wrestler, and one of the most bland wrestling moves that you can have that you can win by is probably the sleeper hold, right? I mean,
but that's what he's bringing back.
Yes,
traditional wrestling. If you do it the right way, you don't have to do 100 flips, 14 super kicks. You know what I mean? If you do everything the right possible way, if you do the selling the right way, if you know what I mean, if you deliver the moves the right way, and if you sell the right way too, that it all adds to it. Like I said, him beating Damian with the sleeper, I thought was great. The only thing I thought Damian lacked there is I think he should have fell asleep looking at Finn. But it was just where he was angled at, because I think he was kind of doing that, but it was where he was angled. But yeah, I think he should put people out, because the power bomb is still it's a great move, but you turning somebody's lights out is just it's untraditional anymore. You know what I mean? So I everything they're doing with Gunther, take my money. You can have all my money. If Gunther's involved in it, please. Here, I'll go broke. I'm sold.
And I mentioned earlier about the crowd, popping for Ludwig Kaiser when he did the Gunther's introduction. He took the microphone from Samantha Irvin, and which we all love Samantha. We love her voice, the way she delivers these introductions. And then Ludwig Kaiser, I got to give it to him. I don't like Ludwig Kaiser.
I don't know how much of SmackDown you caught this week. Wasn't you busy this week?
Yes. I did not catch any of SmackDown.
Okay, well, they let him wrestle this week. They let him go. Was that SmackDown that they let him go? Yeah, that was SmackDown.
Yeah, the U.S. title match. He has to be open invitation for U.S. title.
Him and LA Knight had a banger. They finally let him go. You finally could see, obviously you could see that he does have a lot of talent.
Dude can go. He can go.
Yeah, so, and there's nobody that has a look like he does too. Like I said, he looks like an asshole, man. Like,
he looks like a big asshole, yeah.
And like I said, man, you just look at him and you're like, there's nothing about that guy I like. And then you see him in the ring and you're like, you know what? I think I do kind of like him. But yeah, that entrance, I think everything about that. I think everything about yesterday was again something else they needed for the year. And it's hard to complain about anything that I think that they gave us yesterday, other than most of it being predictable.
Yeah.
But these shows, when they go to other countries, they're really just glorified house shows anyway.
Yeah.
So I think some people don't. They tend to forget that. That's why they get upset, because we had somebody on our page say that they thought it was a very lackluster show. And I'm just like, this is like, I don't know what else you want. You get a world title match first. They gave you your one title change you assumed you was going to get. You got your Rhea, your Liv, your Dom. You know, what I mean, you already know what kind of crowd reactions they're all gonna pull. I I do not think they missed yesterday. I was up there with probably maybe the number 3 pay-per-view of the year. I don't know your opinion on it, but I think it might have been ranked number 3 right now.
You know what? And my memory is so bad that I can't even tell you. I know WrestleMania was good. I remember that. But you know, I've seen every premium live event, and I have a hard time remembering.
It goes faint quick. That's why I'm glad we're talking.
Really quick.
That's why I'm glad we're talking about it now. Let's get it out the way while it's still kind of fresh.
It has to be fresh. That's one of the things when we do the drop on Saturday nights. It's like Monday Night Raw feels like 10 weeks ago already. It's like, shit, I don't remember. I'm writing stuff down. I still can't remember it.
And that's why I said, I was like, I don't really want to do too much of the drop one because these guys still got to do it. I don't want to take away from what they're doing over here. I'm like, we're all going to collaborate together. We're going to figure this thing out. Because definitely don't want to take away from what you guys are doing at all. But yeah, he told us to kind of cover, you know, a little bit of Raw too. And then I'm like, well, I feel like we're taking away from this guy. We're gonna figure this out as a unit so we're not all crossing paths. And if you need us to help, you know, refresh your memory, like I said, I'm always here for you. I'm ultimate team player.
And that's great. And you know what? And the great thing about having 2 wrestling shows is there's all these different opinions. Yeah, everybody has different thoughts and visions on all these different storylines. So it's fantastic. The more the merrier. That's how I look at it.
I mean, there's really only like 3 pay-per-views to remember this year, and that's WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and I think yesterday. Even though the other one outside the country was so good due to the hypeness, I think yesterday, in totality, it turned out with the match qualities and everything else. I think that might be number 3 on the list right now. It's hard to top what WrestleMania did, and I thought SummerSlam was golden too. Hey, Sean, thanks for joining.
What's up, Sean? That's the other fat ass. Sean missed the was so Sean. I work with Sean. Adams is buddies with Sean. So just in case, Larry, you're like, why is he calling this guy a fat ass?
Hey, it happens. We call each other names. That's how we know we have a good friendship, when we call each other names.
And so Sean, you posted a comment here that I'm not going to put up because you know, in case there's any little children watching this show, I'm not going to put up there what you said because I don't want that on my conscience. And I'll tell the guys after we're off the air, I'll tell them what it was because I'm not taking that one with me.
I'm laughing and don't even know what it was. So I can only
imagine. It's Sean News. Like Sean really has his own sense of humor.
Okay, all right.
It's a dark sense of humor. Dark sense of humor, Sean.
Okay, it's all right.
All right. So, yeah, overall, a great premium live event. Well, like you said, Larry, could probably be one of the better. And the only downfall was that Adam and I were talking. I think Larry before he came on the show that the only thing I thought was it was a little bit too predictable. But you know, that's what you get. And so with these foreign ones that you say like kind of like glorified house shows, it's almost like they're testing the market for something bigger.
Absolutely.
They've been talking about WrestleMania being across seas and all that stuff. Whether it's Australia or wherever. And so talking like that, or do they make their own like big time spectacle for the foreign for the foreign lands? I guess I don't know what the hell you'd call it.
I guess eventually, yeah. I think eventually they do, but I think taking WrestleMania away from the U.S. is rough.
Yes, and that. And this is kind of gives you a hint what Sean was trying to allude to, and I'm not going to bring it up. So, but yeah, and so it is. They're they always talk about global, right? WWE global, but now I actually feel like they're getting to a point where they could go global with a huge WrestleMania type pay-per-view, but not WrestleMania. I feel like WrestleMania still needs to stay in the United States or North America.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they do like a second WrestleMania. Maybe have maybe they have this one in April or the end of March, and then maybe toward the end of the year, maybe they build into that like outside, because I don't think you could take that away from the U.S. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, of course. I mean, because these people come from because they travel to the U.S. just for that. So I don't see the Americans, crossing water to enjoy the show. Because I mean, it was right there in Philly, and I still didn't go. I mean, and
Yeah, I wanted to go so bad. There ain't no way I was putting that kind of money out for that.
man, I couldn't do it. And then honestly, man, I can't be cold. So, and this year wasn't really good. I cannot be cold whatsoever. And how bad that they were complaining in that first night, I don't think it would have been good for me. And then, I'm a Cowboys fan. So the last place I want to be
Wear
hanging
your
out is
wear your
hanging out.
Cowboys
Does he
jersey.
got a
See what
Philly
happens.
jersey on?
He has an Eagles jersey on.
Kick
Eagles,
him out of
Brian
here.
Dawkins.
How come you just noticed that?
I looked, but I was so engaged in our conversation that I kind of just let it ride. But yeah, man, in 1 week, these conversations ain't gonna be so friendly, buddy.
I'm to you saying you're a Cowboys fan. It started division this year.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I think you could be right. I think they are. Maybe they are. They're gonna try to because maybe they can meet in the middle somewhere over there, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
Meet somewhere where there's a huge place that they all can, the London, and you can get the Germany and the everything all at once, and then obviously get us over there. I mean, I'm sure there's somewhere over there, they build castles and everything else. So, yeah, I think you have a valid point with that. I think they're probably going in that direction. I mean, these crowds, they're not getting smaller.
No.
So.
The only other thing that I could see them doing, besides moving WrestleMania, which I think we agree they should not do, is moving a SummerSlam over. That's the second biggest pay-per-view that WWE has.
Okay.
And so do you move SummerSlam over there and have that maybe strictly as a European thing, or is that as a foreign? Move it around throughout Europe and Japan and Australia, places like that. Or you just do it every once in a while with SummerSlam, because I do feel like they deserve it.
I think if they do it right, excuse me, I think if they do it right, maybe even like you can put, like, if you make King of the Ring what it used to be, you can put King of the Ring maybe somewhere bigger. You know what I mean? Just because it is a big deal, and then you can have that full tournament again. Because I think they would love to have that full tournament in one night again. I think we're lacking that.
Yeah, I agree. I missed the whole tournament thing, and how they wrestle all the matches on one show, and
yeah, because trying to follow it. If you miss Raw, you don't know why. You know what I mean? So yeah, but I think you have a logical point. I think it is almost time to make go across these.
Even with King of the Ring, that's a great idea, because you think of Europe, you think of a lot of royalty. The King of England. There's been kings of France and all that stuff. The olden
that's why I
days
liked your hypothetical. That's where I came up with that. Like, maybe
that would work out really, really well, actually. So that'd be great. Yeah. So we'll have to, after the show, Larry, we're gonna give Paul Levesque a call here, and we'll
let's see if we can talk a minute something. I've been trying to get hired for so long, man. Like I said, if I can't get in, I'm trying to get Curtis in. We're gonna work this. We're gonna get in there somehow. I'm gonna talk my way up like Paul Heyman. Like, you ever do this before? Yeah. Why?
Yeah. I took pictures before.
Yeah, just lie my way to the top. I mean, I've seen plenty of guys do it too. So I'd be like, man, he isn't any good, man, but he's in a main event spot right now. I'm like, he was doing some politicking.
He's a talker. He's a good talker.
He's a good talker. Oh man, what
all right. Last comment. We got 2 more comments before we head out here. Prospect Home says Sean Lazarchik. It's still real to me. Damn it.
Yes, it is. Yes,
and
it is.
Last comment of the night. We got Mark checking in. What's up, Mark? Thanks for checking the show out. Thank you for commenting. He says, the Bat Fry. What's up? What's up, brother? All right.
What a show.
So great show. Larry, thank you for jumping on. Adam, thank you for being there. Cowboy Dave, please feel better.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I love the Atomic Drop show. Seriously, it's one of my favorites. My friends been telling me about it. They love me being on here with you guys. So,
that's great. That's great to hear. Actually, friends are talking about it. But
I'll always join in, man. If you want me around, you know what I mean. When you want to kick me out like they're doing the Judgment Day people, you just let me know, man. Just give me a heads up. Don't screw me over.
Ken, is this your first show in like 3 weeks?
What's that?
Is this your first show in like 3 weeks?
It's been a couple of weeks for me. Yeah, either one weekend I had to work. There's another weekend where I was just off doing family stuff. So this is my first show in like 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Well,
It's been a
welcome
while.
back, and welcome back. It's nice to finally meet you. I've heard about you. You know what I mean? I'm
Nice
sure
to meet you, Larry.
we've been crossing paths and instant messenger and stuff, but it's really nice to meet you, man. Like
Face to
I say,
face.
all you guys are really good guys, man. It's nice to meet you guys. It's weird we're just meeting this way, but I feel like we all have things in common and great relationships already, man. So thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure Curtis says the same.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's a family here out of the box sports, and that's what it is. We're here for each other and all that good stuff. And speaking of each other and family, we got our sponsor that I forgot to read it because that's what I do because I'm forgetful. And we got Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and falls, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. He has 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. His office in the Garden State of New Jersey is located in Cherry Hill on 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. And in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, his offices are located at 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. And the phone number there is 267-888-2980. And finally, last but not least, the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. His offices are located on 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. That's Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. There it is.
Big Al.
Big Al.
Big Al, no recovery, no free.
If that's what you say, I get in there, Adam.
That's the big one. No recovery, no fee.
Kurt McGirt, there it is. Yep, we are the bloodline here.
We acknowledge.
We acknowledge. There it is. All right, everybody. Thank you for checking the show out. Those that commented, thank you very much. Those watching, keep it up. Please like, follow, subscribe. Check out our YouTube channel, OOT Box Sports. Check us out on X and on the Facebook as well. Until next time, we are the Atomic Drop Podcast. Be sure to check out Part-Time Marks. Like I said, I don't think this Tuesday, probably maybe next Tuesday.
Maybe next Tuesday. We're gonna keep engaging. We're gonna keep engaging with our followers. We're gonna keep the pages going. We might even start doing some giveaways here soon. I don't want to take too much time. We might start doing giveaways soon. We're consistently doing questions that people can follow along. We're having fun on that page. We're trying to blow it up. So yeah, come check us out and let's mark about it.
There we go. Check out the Part-Time Marks. Good stuff. All right. See you, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.